Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is September the 10th, 2021. Strong hand, long-term thinking. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. One Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin. Don't FOMO on alts. We're going to talk about NFTs and some alts in a crypto-dividend sense today. In motion, 5-digit realm. Yeah, we're there. One day closer to $1 trillion market cap. This is where the big boys play. Okay, so buying over crying. And yeah, I am offended by selling. And it's good to be back. It's good that Charlton paid up. He's sponsoring this show. Remember, to do a show, I gotta have $100 per show. It's been a little while. I'm back in Baltimore. Happy New Year. Happy Rosh Hashanah. That's why I'm back here. So send those super chats, or you can do a PayPal with me. You could send Bitcoin, and 23 Bitcoin make you a millionaire today, okay? Hello, my elite friends. Ask questions. I've got answers. Do the super chat. Type in BitcoinMeister. I've got a new shirt on. Salt Girl sent me 5 shirts like this. They're like biker style shirts. She's like, I got some extra material. You don't have to wear them. I really like this one. I really like it. So I'll probably give away the others, to people I meet in person, or not the 4, maybe one or two of the others I'll give away. I'll try on the other ones. I don't know. I have so many Bitcoin shirts, people. I think I have like 60 Bitcoin shirts or something. Pound that like button. It's been a while since I said pound that like button here on YouTube. And yeah, so you guys make this show possible, but actually Bitcoin Conference 2022 is going to become a sponsor of the show also. We're going to have a show on Wednesday where I'm going to talk about that more. Wednesday morning, we have a special guest coming on the show, and we'll talk about the Bitcoin 2021 conference and the 2022 conference is coming up. And I got to sign the paperwork with them because Christian's got to make it official. We got to make it. Bitcoin Magazine's very official. Got to sign contracts with them, but they will be sponsoring a show every week. I'll have a show, so things will be a lot more regular here. But still, to get your shows, send your super chats, dude. We need to raise $100, and you get a show. And you also get a Bitcoin Magazine show. Yeah. Anyway, Bitcoin 2022, the conference in Miami, the best city in America right now. It's going to be in April, and they're going to be sponsoring the show. All right. And I want to thank again the people who helped, get this show off the ground. Charlton, Roger, the guy who sent me $1 in Bitcoin, whoever that was, Johnny Midas, CS2, Johnny NY. If you guys contribute to this show, I'll say your name, whatever. Roger, I forgot last time on last show. I linked to it, but I didn't mention it. He has a funny Bitcoin music video. It's linked to below. I think it's like the only thing linked to below right now. I haven't had time to really add links if you're watching this live, but you can find out who Roger is too. He's a good Bitcoin guy. I put his Twitter below because I forgot to mention him last time, and he helped set everything up or helped make it possible, the previous show. So let me just replace this. Yeah, people say great shirt. Yes, I'm definitely live, people. It's good to see you guys. Yeah, long time no see. Frank, it's good to see you, man. How's everything in San Francisco? It used to be the best city in America. Now, with its horrible rules, and people defecating on the sidewalks, it's got its issues, obviously. Woo! Frank, am I looking good? Would I attract some attention out there on the streets of San Francisco? Anyway, let's go, baby. All right. Still selling real estate, Frank says. Good, man. Keep on doing what you're doing. You sell the real estate. You use the cash to buy yourself some more Bitcoin. Look at this thing. All right. So we're 5 minutes into the show. We haven't even gotten into. Remember, play this at 2x, people. You don't have to hear me talk about my freaking personal life and all this stuff I've been talking about. And yes, tomorrow is 9/11, 20 years. Unfreaking believable. I will never forget the day. My grandmother was over and she was, I slept late and I just heard the TV blasting. And I thought it was because grandma couldn't hear. Even then, her hearing was not perfect. And she was in great health back then. Of blessed memory, my grandmother too. We visited her grave and everyone's grave, but around Rosh Hashanah, you do this. So I've been thinking about my grandmother, and obviously Rosh Hashanah is the yahrzeit of my grandmother. So the first day of Rosh Hashanah. But anyway, going back to 9/11 back 20 years ago, and we should never forget that day. And I never will forget that day. Yeah. And I came running down the stairs and, she was blasting the TV because she couldn't believe what was going on. And everything had already fallen down. I was like, Grandma, why didn't you wake me up? She's like, well, I didn't want to disturb you. Oh my God. So I slept through the whole thing. I knew something was wrong. She's really blasting that TV. And so Johnny Midas said $20 on my dude. Thank you. Happy Friday, Adam. Have fun in Baltimore. Well, it's okay in Baltimore. We're going to get into why it's okay here and how the mindset here is a lot different than like in Nashville and Miami. We're going to get into that. People are, their followers, they don't really use their mind too much in the Baltimore area. There are a lot of scared people, okay? And I want to tell people, they try to make this a left-right issue with people being scared of the virus and scared of getting this. And it's not for everyone. I know conservative people who are scared of the virus still. I know liberal people who are scared, don't want to take the shot. Okay. So, to pigeonhole people and just to, it's sickening how people try to, really divide and conquer that way. But the thing that disgusts me is that, yes, people of all stripes have been totally brainwashed by the nonsense they've seen on TV. Conservative people are not. There are conservative people that are not leaving their houses, okay, that are scared. And for me, it's been 19 months now, over a year and a half, and nothing's changed for me. So to be around people, family, friends, whoever it might be, associates, because when I am in Baltimore, I am around different people, a lot more people than I am when I'm on the road, should we say. So I'm still shocked how scared people are. I haven't been exposed, when I was in Miami, God almighty, we were hugging 10,000 people together. And you get back to Baltimore, and I'm sure in a lot of other cities, it's pathetic. It really is pathetic and sad and scary just how brainwashed and scared people of all stripes are and how they have given up and how it's I don't know how these children are going to end up, man. I really do not know. When all they see is masks and they're scared of people not wearing masks, and it's not everyone, but there is a substantial amount of the population that might be ruined forever. That might just be mentally ill forever. Okay, we'll get to that, back to that in a second. But thank you, Johnny Midas, for the $20. We're $80 closer to a new show. And for those of you who need a reminder, again, at the top of every show, at the top of the notes section in every show, I'm going to just say how much we need for the next show. And some people haven't understood that yet, but just putting it out there again. And it is 2:52 here in Baltimore. I only have until a little bit before 4:30. I've got a call. I got someone to talk to. So people want me to talk about this hex thing. And I'm going to talk about it in its crypto-dividend, the aspect that it was given to us for free. And you never buy anything for free. And there's going to be plenty of people like, well, you could have bought Hex for free. You would have done great if you bought Hex for free. Dude, over the long term, there's one savings device. It's Bitcoin. Other stuff is just speculation. Sure, the speculations do better than some at times do better than Bitcoin. I'm in the savings over the long term. Bitcoin is your savings account. and it's going to be here in 10 years. You do not know, these altcoins, which ones are going to be around in 10 years. So we're going to talk about Hex in a second. Don't worry, dudes. Don't worry. I know some of you are crazy. Have you heard about Pulse Chain, Adam? Yes, I heard about it right away. I just don't mention it. I don't do free marketing for Richard. Richard is a marketing genius, and he does a great job on his own. And it just shows you how in the cryptocurrency space, how in the Bitcoin space, how powerful marketing can be and how ignorant it is for people to reject marketing in Bitcoin, okay? Because, love him or hate him, Richard has shown how far marketing can take something that is just a token on Ethereum. and just, I welcome all of the marketing people who are even smarter than Richard, and Richard's a very smart man, to Bitcoin. So come on down, as Rod Roddy used to say on Bob Barker's show on what Price is Right. So, and the price is always right for Bitcoin. Pound that like button. Now, I was in my car the other day, not my car, excuse me, my mother's car, my parents' car. My father of blessed memory paid, obviously, it's an old car, it's a backup car. There's two cars at my parents' house, despite, just my father being gone, but my mother being around. So when Adam's around, I drive the old car, and I'm driving the old car on the old roads of the northwest suburbs of Baltimore, the Jewish northwest suburbs of Baltimore, where I'm from originally. And I hate driving in this city, suburban city areas. I like driving on the highways I love road trips. This was not a road trip. I had to do something. And I start, I'm trying to be productive. I think about Bitcoin. I think about the NFTs, and that it's all over the place. The masses, it appears right now that the masses consider NFTs to be legitimate, a way to show off how wealthy they are, that, they've got this cool asset. They don't just get to show it, to their friends in the meat space. Half of them don't even go into the meat space anymore, but they get to show it to the whole world. Oh, look at this great NFT. I'm so special. I'm so great. Look how materialistic I am, blah, blah, blah. And it's really seeming to catch on with these people. Now, I would not pay a penny for this nonsense, but people are paying ridiculous amounts. And what I figured out is if the normies get the abstract concept of NFTs being a digital asset, and they consider NFTs to be legitimate, then Bitcoin is a much easier concept to grasp. We already have digital money. We've had, our dollars have been digital for quite some time. We're very used to this, young people and old people, making internet transactions and whatever. So whatever, I consider it a very positive thing, because we're in an NFT bubble right now. There's no doubt about that. I mean, it's silly. But I have said since the beginning that baseball cards could easily be transitioned to NFTs. Okay, that's one thing I see happening. But this other stuff, that Vinny Lingham and everybody else is rambling on about. I mean, there's a lot of legitimate people that are talking about it. And so the bottom line is, if NFTs are legit, then Bitcoin ain't going anywhere. Now, of course, I believe I've given you millions of reasons to show why Bitcoin isn't going anywhere. But this is something that's really simple to understand. NFTs are more complex than Bitcoin. Really, they are. And there's a lot of legitimate reasons why NFTs. I mean, I think there are a lot of legitimate arguments why NFTs shouldn't last. But if they last, if the 80%ers really love them as much as it appears that they may, then whoa, does Bitcoin have a bright future? My Lord. So am I a fan of NFTs? Yeah, I love that people try new things. Okay. Let people innovate. Do not destroy. Compete. Don't complain. Pound that like button. I forgot to unplug something here. Hang on one second. Hang on. I'm still here. All right. So, drinking my water, being healthy. I'll give you a health update in a second, dudes. We're going to talk about it all today, but we only got 90 more minutes to talk about this. But it's going to be a long show. So we've got to. Are you following me on Twitter, people? Because throughout my absence from YouTube, I've been tweeting like every day, really good stuff. I mean, there's been some fun, popular threads, and I've had a fun time updating everyone. I think I'm a great. Well, I forgot the word again. A person who curates very, very well on Twitter. I'm a great curator of Twitter information. Techbalt, TECHBALT. That is, in fact, linked to below. And God, there are so many subject matters I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to run out of time by the end of the show. I know I am. Oh, well, it's just more for another show. So Coinbase, at some point, announced that they're spending some money to buy altcoins. Okay, there was a very interesting take on that. Coinbase's crypto investments are really about looting the company for the benefit of the VCs, which haven't done enough looting of Coinbase investors already. Now, I want to say this about Coinbase. If you're an investor in Coinbase, I mean, why not just buy the underlying asset, Bitcoin? No, you've got to complicate things. You got to complicate matters. And so what this guy is saying is that Coinbase has venture capital people that have invested money into it, okay? They want a return on their Coinbase investment, but they also want a return on all the other, altcoins they're invested in, projects, crypto projects they're invested in. So Coinbase is invested in some of these projects. So this guy says it's looting. Dudes, you know what you're getting into when you're buying Coinbase. You're not buying Bitcoin. You're buying a company that sells altcoins. And so, of course, they're going to maybe buy some altcoins too and buy into altcoin-related projects. Who knows what they're going to do, all right? So there's no point in buying stock in Bitcoin, in Coinbase, excuse me. No point at all. They're going to do Coinbase is not screwing you. You are screwing yourself, okay, when you buy in the Coinbase and they do things like this. And it helps their venture capital friends when they use investor money that you have given them to buy altcoin. And it also helps Coinbase because they're trying to pump their altcoins too. So they buy the altcoins that they're selling, that their venture capitalists are owning and stuff. Yeah, they're helping insiders that help them. You don't have to play their game. You don't have to be a customer of Coinbase. You don't have to investigate. But there were so many people. Coinbase went public. I want to own a public crypto company. Buy the real thing. This Bitcoin, the real thing. Beautiful shirt. All right. So this Hex thing. Now, I have seen so many altcoin flavors of the month. I've seen so many altcoins pump and dump and do all. We're going to talk Pivx. Somebody mentioned Pivx the other day. You guys don't even remember Pivx. It was the Dash competitor. Oh, my Lord. And there's another one I'm going to talk about in a second, too. But what's very interesting about this Hex thing is that Richard has a cult that just talks about it like anything. And because there's certain people that find Hex to be dirtier than certain altcoins. They won't even mention it. They call it a scam. They do this. They won't even. So Hex has become this elephant in the room that no one's going to talk about. And I don't really like talking about it either. But it cannot be ignored what has occurred here. The pumping that it has gone up in price an incredible amount, and we got it for free. It was when I say we, I mean Bitcoin holders, and he had, the way he had it set up that you had to lock 90% of it up. It was some of us got lucky because of that. Yeah, I wanted to dump it right away. I was able to, dump 10% or whatever, early on, and I thought I did pretty well. And a lot of people that got it for free ended up holding it longer than they planned. And then when they saw that at one point it had gotten pretty high when we were stuck with it. And I mean, I will admit, when I got lucky, I wanted it to return to what it was worth in Bitcoin when I sold it for that. And then it went down. So like I ended up, I mean, it's unbelievable what's going on. So, and there's many, so this is the beauty of crypto dividends. Okay. You get this stuff for free. You never buy it. And then you do well with it. You do well. You get lucky. All right. And he had all these gimmicks around it where he made it that I got, you were locked into it. This staking and this, that, and the other. Well, it keeps on going and going and going. And because the dude is a marketing genius, and I said this from the beginning, I didn't think this was possible, but people value their wealth in hex. They value their wealth in this freaking hex stuff. All right. So they keep on buying this nonsense. So if you were lucky enough to have some, to like have some laying around still for that you couldn't unstake because it took you 9 months to stake it in the first place, or to claim it, you had a year to claim it and all this. And I didn't claim it all right away. I wasn't in Baltimore. I wasn't available. Wasn't available to me even to claim all the stuff I needed. So but I want to go to what Richard's doing here. All right. And Adam, are you on Instagram? No, I'm not on Instagram. I can't be on everything. It's a very feminine thing anyway. I don't need people. If you want to look at me, look at me. But it is so, I got, I have at least one sister, as you know. She was talking about and asking me about Instagram also. So I mean, and that's cool for my at least one sister that I have. And but okay, let's not ramble on too much here about my sisters and brothers and new niece. Yeah. So so it's the elephant in the room, and what Richard has done, he's made it. It's an ego coin. It's a rebel coin. He's playing into like the fact that people won't talk about it, that everybody is against him. It's hex against the world. Hex against the world. Okay, and so what everyone, by not talking about it, he just plays up that narrative by us not talking about it, by ignoring it, by saying it's a scam, this, that, and the other. And he could run away with all of it at one point. I've said since the beginning he wants to be a billionaire. He might be a billionaire now. I mean, for all we know. The dude is talking, showing Rolexes apparently now. And he's got this whole aura. And he appeals to certain people and there's so many people that are angry in this world right now that feel like the whole world is against them. So of course this is a coin for them. Of course. So he's a marketing genius, and I'm not saying he's a good guy or anything like that, but what the really main reason I'm bringing this up, besides the marketing aspect, is that people. One line here that I saw, there was an ignorant guy on YouTube, or someone made a clip of just some guy screaming about hex, okay? And he says, even when my hex goes down, it goes up. And that's staking right there. He's the guy. People want interest. We're in a negative interest world. So Richard created a very simple thing. All he did was create a savings account. What savings accounts used to be. They used to pay interest. Grandma of blessed memory used to have a savings account. It paid interest. By the time she left this planet, this physical world, what was the interest rate on my grandma's savings accounts? What, 0.01%? I mean, it's so ridiculous. But so what Richard does is he pays you 12% or 13%. 1% a month you get on this stuff, okay? What do you get it in? You value your wealth in hex, which I think is ridiculous, but he's got this whole setup, these gimmicks. He's got this new one coming out now. He played off of the best holders in the world. He knew how to market it. He gave away his thing for free to the best holders in the world. Now he's dealing with the second biggest cryptocurrency in the world, Ethereum, and he's going to give them something for free also. And you know the funny thing about this Pulse thing that he's giving away? It's just to pump up Hex also. It's to pump it up. It's to stretch it out. He comes up with gimmicks, gimmick after gimmick, and they're not fully explained. Well, how do you what is this Pulse thing exactly? And what is he makes up he changes the rules of the game along the way, and it's gamification. And these people love it. Okay? So Bitcoin also pays interest. But people don't want to talk about that either. It pays interest in altcoins. It pays interest in crypto dividends, in forks, and in airdrops. So if people want to try to be the next Richard Hart, where they make up some weird altcoin on Ethereum that they give away to Bitcoin holders, that's great. I will take it for free. I will turn it into Bitcoin. The world wants interest in this negative interest rate world. He has shown, love him or hate him, that simple little, that's all his coin does. It pays interest. And then there are gimmicks around it too, okay? You get a free microwave. You get a free pulse chain, okay? So Bitcoin, crypto dividends, it's free interest. We need to get normies into the Bitcoin space. Simply talk about, we should make it easier. We should encourage people to keep on making their altcoin. Make your altcoins. It doesn't hurt me. And if you're going to make an altcoin, give it away for free to Bitcoin holders, like Richard Hart did. And hey, maybe you'll be as successful as him. I don't care if you are or not. What I care about is interest. Okay, I like interest, and we're getting Bitcoin holders get interest as crypto dividends, as altcoins. Okay, so I like altcoins because they can be interest for Bitcoin. I also like I have no problem with altcoins because people are being creative, and maybe they'll come up with cool things that can be added to Bitcoin. So that's my take on the elephant in the room known as Hex. Okay, I'm not going to talk about it for a while. Hopefully, people have asked me about it. People leave spam in my Twitter and my comments section, and that's an honest opinion right there. I mean, there are a lot of people that they want to be on a team Bitcoin maximalist. And if you're like pure, these purity tests, you have to rip on Hex, and you have to rip on Richard Hart, and you have to say it's a scam. You have to do this, that, and the other. And no, I mean, I'm telling you the honest thing that's out there right now. How about debating Richard in a live stream? Why debate him? Well, I've just given him a better review than not. I've complimented him. I've said that I have done well off of what he gave me for free. You guys live so vicariously. You can't even live. You live through these people. Like, why do you need him to debate? And you ignorant fool. He's been on my show twice before. Okay, check out the archives, disruptmeister.com. And maybe you're not, maybe I shouldn't have called you an ignorant fool. I apologize for that. But it's just that you're playing into his whole thing, this war against Richard thing. There's not a war against Richard. There's not, people say things about Hex. He's created this thing out of the blue that's worth billions and billions and billions of dollars. He's a billionaire. He's driving the best freaking car on the planet. He's got Rolexes. There's not a war against, you bought into it. And that's why people are valuing their wealth in Hex. That's why he's a marketing genius. And I mean, what can I say? But to debate him, there's nothing to debate with Rick. I mean, that I think that his coin is not as good as Bitcoin. I mean, what the heck? Just like, who cares about that? He can have it's a non-zero sum game here. Okay, there could be all sorts of quote unquote winners out there. All right, Bitcoin is the best store of value right now. Hex is the best freaking flavor of the month altcoin. And if you bought it for less than a Satoshi or whatever, you're doing great. But most of you people who get into this war type of thing, You don't have a strong enough hand to even hold that stuff. And the reason that you are holding it is because you staked it and he did it, the holding for you. I mean, that's the genius behind it. These 80%ers that are buying it, they couldn't hold it. They couldn't hold it. He does the freaking holding for them with the staking and this, that. But no, there's nothing to debate with him. There's people are so, and Bitcoin, some Bitcoiners like this too. They think it's this whole big war thing. Bitcoin is a war on the banks. Bitcoin, we got a war. We got to go fight. No, dude. It's about improving yourself, saving, becoming wealthier, having free time, and just think of yourself here when you're talking about Bitcoin here. That's some grander battle that you've got to sacrifice for or something like that. There's nothing to sacrifice for. Get rich, baby, or have fun staying poor. Pound that like button. Now, okay. Hello, Sci-Fly Earth 67. It's great to see you here. Now, how's LA? What new rule do they have in LA? I can only imagine. I mean, here, okay, I'm not going to get into Baltimore anymore. I mean, it's amazing how some people beg for authoritarianism. It's unbelievable. And and Richard is in this era where people look for these gurus. I mean, my lord, is he really milking that to the best? And by the way, we talked about NFTs before, and we're talking about pure Bitcoin people. Nick Carter, he talks about how he got NFTs for free, and he sells the NFTs. So, dudes, if you feel guilty about getting something for free and then selling it, even Nick Carter freaking does stuff like that. Okay, so yeah, even I do have to say, it sounds so simple. Even when Hex goes down, it goes up, and that people really like that. People want interest, and so yeah, Chris Black wasn't scared to talk about the elephant in the room, though. He said, eventually, the risk of Richard eventually rugging Hex holders is quite high. The thing is, he's always been quite transparent about this risk. If you understand this and you've still chosen to buy Hex, then Godspeed. But you will get no sympathy if you lose the game. And I mean, I agree with that. I mean, I don't think he's going to, Richard put himself in a very interesting situation. He's an American citizen. I think there's no way he can ever step foot into the United States again because he'll be arrested because he's created a security or whatever he's created. I mean, I don't think he should be. I think it's wrong to arrest Richard Hart. I don't think the United States government should do anything if he comes to America again. But I don't see how he could come back to America. I just how like authoritarian and just how the government just loves to interfere in every aspect of everybody's financial life. They want Richard Hart has printed money out of thin air. The government doesn't like when someone does that, and especially when he might have sold the money he printed out of thin air for Ethereum. And so, yeah, he can't come. But so I don't think he's going to do a rug pull anytime soon. But I agree. I will have no sympathy for the people who get screwed if he does do it. You're screwing yourself. You're gambling right now. Okay, you're totally gambling. He has if you don't think he could do it, you're wrong. It's centralized. He could do it. I don't care if he does or he doesn't do it or whatever. It's gambling, and he's a good marketer, and that's it. That's all I'm going to say about it for now. Bitcoin's realized market cap, which reached an all-time high recently of $378 billion. For all you people who panic every time that it hits 50,000, but then goes back down to what's it right now, 45,000. It's realized market cap. A better way of measuring it than it's regular market cap. Was at an all-time high, according to this Decrypt article. I don't know what day it was from. I've been taking notes for the last, I'm not doing a show, but I write down ideas every once in a while. And then, so I don't know what day that actually came out. Here's something that Bitcoin solves. This is from Reason Magazine. We're talking about the government trying to be in everybody's financial business. Well, here's something. DEA seizes life savings of New Orleans grandfather without charging him for a crime. The case is the latest example of people who say their savings were seized in airports despite it being perfectly legal to fly domestically with large amounts of cash. So, I mean, it's amazing. You've got it's legal to have a wad of cash with you, your life savings, but hey, the DEA can take it. Bitcoin solves that problem. If you get the Bitcoin, it's unconfiscatable. Okay. Also, going back to Hex real quick, love it or hate it, it's a shield for Bitcoin. If he did come back to America, it would quickly be a shield for Bitcoin. He would be a shield for Bitcoin. Real quick health thing that I've learned about in the last month. People argue, do you eat meat? Or are you a vegan? Are you this, that, and the other? There's the carb diet, the fat diet. There's something in between that I learned about that I never really thought about that I have been eating a lot of lately. The bean diet. There's a woman out there, and again, I found out about this woman in the notes section of a health video or in the comment section, because again, I just don't drool and watch videos and see pretty faces like mine and pretty shirts like mine. I actually read the notes section. I read the comments. I comprehend what they're saying. Someone mentions a woman I never heard of called Karen Hurd. You can look her up. Karen, like a screaming Karen, Karen, Hurd, Hurd. And she had a sick daughter at one point, and she used beans to help cure the problem. She's from the St. Louis area. I'm obviously went to college, Washington University in St. Louis. And St. Louis is the Baltimore of the Midwest. And so Karen Hurd, I wish I could link to this video, but I'll try to link to this video if I have time below. She says the beans help with your bile health. It's interesting. Google her. You'll find the video. She is not really good with social media. She really doesn't put herself out there. You can tell she's a very smart woman. Beans. Check them out. I've been eating a lot of beans lately. All right. Now, yes, altruism during the virus. Some of these screaming Karens think we should all suffer the same. They're such victims. If they're suffering because they're locked down, you should suffer too. It's unfair that you've got to had fun this last 19 months like I have. I've been to so many different cities in the United States. I've seen it all happen, baby. But part of altruism, sacrificing for others. Yaron Brook expands upon this in his videos. Part of altruism, there's a dark side to it. It's just like we should all suffer the same. If I'm sacrificing, you better be sacrificing. What a sick concept. Okay? That's why you got to love certain aspects of Yaron Brook, his love of life, and the whole Ayn Rand philosophy, which is, of course, live for yourself. Okay? You only got one life, people. So Biden's got these mandates. People have just continued to be defiant, as I say. He's scapegoating. It's just amazing how sick and low some of these sociopathic leaders and regular people on social media will go. They don't realize how it's mimicking the 1940s so much. They are scapegoating the unvaxxed to deflect from their own failures, to try to make up excuses for why things are the way they are. With respiratory season just around the corner, the unvaccinated are going to be scapegoated for when our government has once again failed to achieve the impossible task of stopping an endemic virus from circulating among a massive population. So people, for most people, it's not that bad of a virus. It's not going away. So since it's not going away, they want to blame people. And it's also a way to power grab. Scapegoating is the lowest of the low. And that's why it sickens me in the cryptocurrency space when people try to blame other people for oh, the Ethereum people are so bad. They're the cause of our problems. I hate scapegoating. I'm so anti-scapegoating, but it's the big new thing. Well, in America or in the Western world, in the world, what's been big the last 19 months? Being a snitch, scapegoating, worshiping authority, not thinking. In the 20% or Bitcoin overlay, though, we've been doing the opposite for quite some time. I'm a proud member of the 20%er. Individualism is the accomplishment. Okay, collectivism is the default. We've seen that in all sorts of ways, and we have a significant, I will say, minority who are just going further and further down this loser rabbit hole of authoritarianism, of scapegoating, of fear, of mental illness. And it seems to be more of that in East Coast cities and some of these so-called progressive cities. They've just dug themselves this hole and they worship authority. They just want solutions and they will accept any solution. They will not think about the solution. They will not realize that it's not a solution. It's just a power grab. And they won't even take into consideration, does this person even know what they're talking about? Does Mayor Brandon Scott know what he's talking about? Does Mayor Eric Garcetti know? No, they don't know what they're talking about at all. It's just when you're scared, you're willing to accept so much. And I don't know. In Baltimore, it's bad. But in the Baltimore area, it's just, people are forever changed. Traditions change over time. Okay. I am not a person that thinks, hold on to tradition for the sake of tradition. But what this virus has done for some people, when I go to Rosh Hashanah services, it's not the same amount of people anymore. Okay. People have given up their religion. This has become their religion. This fear, this sickness has become their religion. And their traditions, if you wanted a way to destroy society and to make them worship a government, this would be the perfect setup. This fear-induced virus stuff. And so, again, I'm not, into blindly holding into tradition, but I'm not into blindly killing tradition either. And to just say, I'm giving up everything because I don't want to leave my house anymore. And there are a substantial amount of people that don't want to leave their houses anymore, that cannot, that are scared of seeing people without masks and just, wow, it's really hit me being in Baltimore more so than being in Nashville, where I see so much being built in Nashville and in Miami, so much being built, so much, just so much happiness and partying. And here, I've seen people give up their traditions, their religion, their freedom. And at the same time, there is a certain people in, and I don't want to make generalizations, but I've run into more people in, East Coast type cities like Baltimore. And Baltimore is the biggest loser East Coast city there is. We're the worst ghetto there is. There's no, that's an objective fact that of all the major league cities on the East Coast, north of Washington, D.C., the Boston to Washington, D.C. corridor, Baltimore's the worst. It's the most crime infested, most dangerous, it's lost the most population. But yet there are people in Baltimore, you'll tell them that you were in Nashville, okay? And they will look down. They will think they have a certain level of sophistication. Oh, they're racist in Nashville. How can you be Jewish and be in Nashville? Like you or not. And I've had people tell me, not necessarily about Nashville, but you go to a city, other cities in Tennessee. They make it like it's like the KKK dominates Tennessee. People on the East Coast, a lot of people are stuck in their cities. They're stuck in their ways. They don't even travel to these places. And so this loser mentality, this tree mentality, where you're not willing to be in motion, it bleeds into all sorts of aspects of your life. You're not willing to try Bitcoin. You're going to listen to the government. You're going to lock yourself down and everything like that. But I actually physically go to different places, okay? And these so-called racist places where you should be scared to be a Jew or scared to be a black, it's totally the opposite. These places are growing. These are where all sorts of people, minorities, all sorts of people are moving, becoming successful. All sorts of Hispanic people are working in Nashville. I wanted to bring up later in the show, and I tweeted this out earlier. And I know this is becoming beyond Bitcoin, but whatever. I can talk about it. It's my darn show. Fast forward if you don't like it. If play to 2x, there'll be other Bitcoin stuff I'm talking about. But just, there's so many people in the native population that want to blame things on immigrants and yet they're not willing to move. They're not willing to change. They're not willing to try something new and just make up the lamest excuses. Well, that's a hick state. Tennessee's a hick state. Florida's a hick state. I mean, these places are doing so much better than Baltimore. But what I wanted to say that I just lost my train of thought, Toby. No, now I remember the Hispanic workers. So things have become so extreme in America that the native population is just so willing to stay home and get a check from the government. On these construction sites in Nashville, all of a sudden they're female Hispanic workers. I had never seen a female worker on a construction site before in my life. And what I figure is what's going on is that, they want the dollars. They're sending it back to their countries that they came from originally. It's worse there. So for those of you that say the dollar is being hyperinflated away, that no one's going to respect the dollar, I mean, we got a situation where people are willing to leave their countries and just work these really rough jobs in America. And you people getting all these government checks that are scared and complain, you should be very grateful of the situation that the dollar is so loved that you can just smoke weed all day, be scared, and it's going down in value. Bitcoin is better, but these people from around the globe, and this is why you cannot be against, why I am not against immigration. I think I wish we didn't have all these social programs in America. I would be for total open borders if we did not have a welfare state, okay? But we do have a welfare state. And as long as the immigrants come here, and I don't care if they're illegal or not, all right? If they don't vote, if they don't try to change, I think the way it should be is this: just don't give them voting rights. And most of them aren't getting voting rights anyway. Okay, that's not, because if they get the voting rights, then some of them, unfortunately, they're clueless enough that they'll vote in socialism. They'll vote in to steal more from me. I'm not happy about that. I don't like that. But what I am observing, because I am going different places, actually, seeing these female Hispanic workers is a sign of the dollar's strength and of the great situation in the United States of America, that the United States of America during these last 19 months is the best country to be in. And I just, what's your interpretation? Am I putting too much into this? That, why are all of a sudden female Hispanic construction workers are out there? I'm saying because the regular citizens of America, they're spoiled, they're fat, and we have gotten to a level of freedom in this country and success where we can have other people do our dirty work. There's all these people complaining that they're poor in the United States. You don't even have to do a dirty job anymore. All the immigrants do it for us now. Female immigrants are doing construction now. All right. So, we've got a leisure world here. Use your heads, get into the cryptocurrency space. We don't have to do dirty work. I mean, it's there's so few people. I mean, it's immigration. It is a legitimate something legitimate behind immigration. Is it gets the native population to a point where we don't have to do hard work anymore. And of course, I haven't had to do hard work because I went to college and I'm smart and everything like that. But even if you don't, if you don't do that, and you don't have to go to college anymore, but you don't have to be smart anymore to avoid hard work. Okay, get into this Bitcoin stuff. All right. Now, all right, I rambled about that longer than I planned to. Hey, but at least I got out of. So I don't like this sophistication, this fake sophistication. We are not Baltimore people, Boston people, New York people. You're living a freaking pipe dream if you think you're more sophisticated, if you're better than people in Nashville or people in Miami, okay? No, those places are great places too. Just because you've got some college degree and they don't, doesn't mean you're, and it doesn't mean they're racist. You know, just this blindly calling people from the South racist or anti-Semitic or whatever, and thinking that they're going to not like you. You're the one not liking them, all right? And those places are growing. And by the way, there's a lot of for those of you who just love to fit in, and fitting in is overrated, and you love to fit in with this fake sophistication. The funniest part is that the smartest of the fake sophisticated people here on the East Coast, the smartest of the smart, and they do it quietly, they're the ones that are moving to Tennessee. They're the ones that are buying property in Montana. They're the one, and same for the West Coast sophisticated people. They're the ones who are buying property in Salt Lake City and Boise and Spokane, and have been doing it for a while. Yeah, and they'll still call the people in Montana hicks and dirty and this and racist and KKK people. Yet they'll sow that narrative. They'll spread that narrative. Yet they're the ones buying $2 million homes in Bozeman. Okay, so think long and hard before you try to fit in and call everybody a hick and blame all those people for why the virus is spreading because they didn't get the they didn't get the shot. You know, just join in you blindly join in the freaking scapegoat parade. But the ones who are leading that narrative, they're the ones who are silently getting richer, living the freaking good life in supposedly these scary places like Idaho and Tennessee and Montana, which I can't wait to I think what I'm going to do when I come back for November for my father's yurt site, I think I am going to buy a car just to own a car, to just take a road trip car. I'm going to buy myself a trip car because I don't own a car. I haven't owned a car for quite some time. But I think the time has come to buy like the cheapest possible new car just to like put. I love road tripping. That's something that I value. And I haven't gotten to do it since I drove now over a year ago from Baltimore to Asheville when I got that awesome deal on a rental car when everybody was scared to like rental cars and the prices had dropped so much. Now they've gone completely up. But of course, I was in motion taking advantage of it. Anyway, I'm going to buy myself a cheap car. And I can afford a great car if I want to. I'm not into that. I like how the Maserati looks, and I like how Richard Hart's car looks, and but I just can't do it. There's something in me that won't let me do it. I don't know what it exactly. I have to study that psychology. I just haven't had time to do it. And I don't want to. I want a fuel efficient car to drive when I'm doing my road trip. I don't want to drive around a Maserati, the southern United States and the western United States. I don't think that I'll get jacked probably. That's a safety concern. But still, I could get a really nice SUV or whatever. I can't do it. Just like cheap. I was wrong. I gotta enjoy life more, and I am enjoying life more. And so yeah, I look forward to driving what I might do in November. Because I wanted to road trip. I love reporting on this to you people because unfortunately, people are coming up with these fake news about, we lived through it in Miami during the Miami Bitcoin conference, how they said It was a super spreader event, and it wasn't at all. And so I've been to a fake super spreader event. I can tell you how just the media lies about everything. I can tell you how confused everyone with their fake sophistication is about different regions of the country. Okay, so I want to see more. I want to see New Mexico. I want to see. There's so much I want to drive around and just see and report back and just bust those freaking myths. Okay, we've got some more money has been sent my way and more questions. Remember, if you want, you could type in BitcoinMeister or send a super chat. I will answer your questions. So Anthony Monero, who's in France, I believe, sent me 10 euro. What the heck is going on, Adam? I hope you got free hex. One and a year, half years ago, I did get free hex. I think it was 1.5 years ago, and then a little bit less than that because I spread it over time. Yeah, I got, of course, I got free crypto dividends. I told people, what to do, and I was pretty annoyed by it at the time, when he was giving it away for free. But yeah, if you got stuck with it, you got lucky, and some of us got stuck with it. But I am not a person to say, because I wasn't thinking about, I was just collecting the interest. I wasn't thinking about it. So I can admit when I got lucky. But for the people who just, blindly accuse, Adam Meister, you got lucky because you bought Bitcoin in 2013. No. That wasn't luck. That was me thinking about studying Bitcoin for quite some time and just going all in on Bitcoin from 2013 to 2016 and saying, this is the future. So, ending up, there was some proactive, I got my crypto dividend, but because of all the nonsense staking stuff, I got stuck with it. That was the luck part of the hex for me. But so CraigShip.com, who, once I get my freaking car, well, I'm going to get a Versa or something like that. I don't know what I'm going to get. Once I get the cheapest freaking car possible, I will drive to Craig Ship's undisclosed location near Camp David. But he says they are also buying Bitcoin from those with weak hands. Who is also buying Bitcoin from those with weak hands? Everybody. When you buy Bitcoin, you are buying Bitcoin from people with weak hands. It's amazing that people are still selling Bitcoin. I can't grasp it, but hey, man, weak hands are going to do what they're going to do. But yeah, keep on. Craig Ship always reminds people that I said, get 21 Bitcoin, you'll be set. What was that? Was I right about that, or was I right about that? What are we at? What are we at now? How many Bitcoin make you a millionaire right now? 22, 23, something like that. I don't know. He says Craig Ship says buy a Toyota. I might get the cheapest Toyota out there. I was thinking about that too. There was a time in my youth where I thought it was wrong to buy a Japanese car, that you weren't supporting America. No, what is wrong is that we put tariffs on these freaking cars, okay? Free trade, baby. Let it all come in here. Let Capito complain. The American consumer should be able to buy the freaking best car out there, all right? Whatever he wants. So, no, I'm not. I was ignorant back in the day. Of course, I was ignorant about a lot of things. I was a young kid. It was fun to be a young kid. Take full advantage of being a young kid, by the way. Health is very important. And pound that like button. And yeah, value your wealth in women a little bit when you're young, when you're 18. And pound in college, you should be pounding other stuff other than the like button and and beer, if you know what I mean. All right. Marty's Al is in the house. That's a dude who's been a guest on this show. UK BitcoinMeister's been a guest on this show before. Wow, we've got all sorts of awesome people on this show before. Heck yeah! Value your wealth in Bitcoin. Yeah, but I mean, people want interest so much that they will value their wealth in altcoins. It's gotten to that point. Negative interest rates. This is a government-created insanity. Just something that would not exist in the free market. Now, gosh darn, I wanted to say something else about the government and something they created. I forgot now. Anthony Monaris is another 10 euros. Thank you. Did you hold your free hex because one hex is worth 552% more since you're. That's not why I held it, dude. I held it by accident. It was an accident. I got lucky. I didn't, and I didn't hold all of it. I wanted to get rid of all of it. Yes, you are doing, I like you, Anthony. You just show what marketing can do. Richard repeats the same thing over and over again, that it's going up 552,000%. And you are just spreading the word for him. And he's got an army of people doing it. He has created, we've talked about different tribes built around money. He has mastered that. In the 2020s, this golden age is the first time we've had tribes. We had tribes built around religion. We have tribes built around fear. Tribes built around Democrats or Republicans, around politics. In the 2020s, the golden age, we have tribes built around money. And Bitcoin is the biggest tribe, okay? Ethereum is the second biggest tribe. After that, we had Dogecoin. What this dude has done is he's built a really big financial tribe. It's a cult around himself, around his ego. And, you're free to keep on promoting it and whatever. If you watch the beginning of the show, I don't think you watched the beginning of the show, maybe. I elaborate on why I'm bringing it up, why I think crypto dividends are awesome, and how this shows that getting free altcoins, there's nothing wrong with getting free altcoins. I still, you are going to point out that it's gone up 580,000%, and thus it was good to buy it. No, I'm still sticking by what I say. You don't buy something you get for free. If you had Bitcoin, you would have gotten this for free and done absolutely great. You deserve it, my friend. I am very happy for you. Well, thank you again for the €5, the €5 you just sent. And dude, I hope you did well in whatever financial endeavor you got into. I know you got into Bitcoin. If you got into other things too, you got into other things too. Cool. And I hope you got free hex. I hope you got free B gold back in the day. I hope you got free B cash. That, another one just, the thing that was B cash ABC just pumped too. It's called E cash now. Everything is freaking pumping. It's crazy. But that's no reason to buy these other things. But I did want to point out, I think it'd be funny if the other crypto dividend of Bcash, and by the way, for all you who are Bitcoin holders, and I know there's some of you out there, there's some of you who are Bitcoin holders who control your own private key, who have never gotten your Bcash yet, you can still get, because you never split up your Bcash, that means you never split your BSV from your Bcash, you never split your eCash from your Bcash, you can still get all that stuff for free. Whatever happened to Rhombus, JJ Volt said. You know what? You can still claim it, I believe. And it actually was going up on price on some backwater Chinese exchange. So if you would have claimed that free Rhombus crypto dividend, it kept on going up in value. I don't know why people were buying that stuff. I don't know how. It was like the lowest of the low of airdrops. And I think it's still going up in value. People are still buying it on some Chinese exchange. So you could have dumped that for Bitcoin. Anthony Monero sent another €10. I think we've raised like close to 100. Check out at the end of this show. I think we're gonna have another new show pretty darn soon. That you got. Thanks, Anthony. He says, Adam, soon. Richard Hart is creating. Okay, you missed the beginning of the show. You did, because I mentioned that he's creating Pulse Chain. Okay, and you paid for this, so I'm going to read what you said. But guys, I am not promoting Richard Hart here. I just want to say this. I'm not a fan of Richard Hart. I'm not a fan of his at all. All right. I don't like the war mentality. I'm just saying everything that he's done in terms of marketing is very successful. Okay. He is a marketing genius. He may be a sociopath and a psychopath also. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a professional psychologist. I've met Richard online, twice. He's been on the show twice and everything. And so, I can't do an evaluation of him, a professional evaluation, because I'm not a professional in that manner. But I'm going to read you this. Again, you missed the beginning of the show. So, but I will read it because you paid. And you just sent another 10. Sorry, I was late for the show. Yeah, watch the beginning, please. But because of all this money you're giving me, there's going to be another show. So I think everyone should be happy about, even though I'm going to read this thing. Richard Hart is creating an ETH fork called Pulse Chain, which means you will have double of your hex. So that's the thing. It's a gimmick. I said that he creates these new things to make it, it's gamification of his altcoin. He's really good at it. So he's creating another altcoin for the Ethereum people, which is the second biggest crypto constituency out there. He knows exactly what he's doing, dude. And so the new gimmick is that, you should hold on to your hex even longer because you're going to get another free coin. And dude, people should be able to print their own money. I have no problem with him printing his own money. And he's gamifying it. And he should give the Pulse Chain away to Bitcoin holders, okay? He's giving it away to ETH holders and hex holders. Great. That's just whatever. He knows what he's doing. He's a good marketer. And it shows the type of innovation you can do in this space. He is innovating, love him or hate him. And this can all be incorporated into Bitcoin. It can all be used to incentivize more people to get into Bitcoin, because people of this world, you can explain things very simply. There's so many complex things that you can explain about Bitcoin, and they just drool away and it scares them away. If you just said, hey, you buy this thing called Bitcoin, you control your own private key, you'll get interest on it, okay? Through the crypto-dividend process. That would get so many people into Bitcoin that aren't into it now. Okay, the show's been going on for an hour. We got 40 minutes before I got to take a call. And wow, am I going to have enough for new shows? All right, so we talked about a little Biden there, and just be defiant. Keep on being defiant. Oh, here's a headline. Increasing number of Americans are heading to remote places in rugged vehicles that double as homes. So, I'm not going to be in a rugged vehicle, but I'd love to hear that Americans are just traveling around the United States like I am and living in their cars. If I buy a Versa or and I drive around the country some, even though I'm very wealthy now, I will sleep in my car a few nights. I love it. It's fun. It's fun to do. So, just putting it out there. And that's an interesting, a cool headline. I thought that was, I love this. I love rugged individualism. And, instead of being scared in your basement and just complaining about, begging the government to lock other people in their houses, you go out there, you live in your car for a few months and just see what the United States is. And the United States is freaking awesome. So Zion, and of course I'm a Zionist, long live the state of Israel, but Zion is a decentralized social network built on Bitcoin. JP Sears, that awesome comedian with long red hair in Austin, Texas, is behind it. GetZion.com. All right, GetZion.com, BitcoinLightning.com. What is this? It's a link. I had this in a tweet here. Okay, yeah, that's an article. So Zion is Bitcoin Lightning. He is trying to do social media. He is a social media guy, JP Sears. He's put his money where his mouth is. He is trying to do Lightning Network social media. That is what Zion is. GetZion.com. It's a waiting list to get on. I don't know if all of you've heard about it. I retweeted about it on August 31st. That's insider information right there, okay? And I found out about it because of bitcoinerjobs.co. They have a community manager chief that they're trying to hire for at Zion. Okay? That doesn't take any technical skill. It's the golden freaking age, dudes. We're talking about marketing before. You don't have to be a freaking altcoin marketer. You can work for these Zion people, which is Lightning Network, social media, JP Sears, pure Bitcoin. You could take your marketing talent. You could take your marketing talents to Austin, Texas, like freaking LeBron James took his talents to South Beach. But no, you don't even have to physically go to Austin, Texas. I bet. I'm not sure about that, but pound that like button. Check out getzion.com, and you guys should be following me on Twitter at TechBalt anyway, and you should know about this job. I will try to link to it below. I'm going to have to go over all of this and add the links when I have some free time. I'm not going to have free time for a little while, but just bear with me, people. Keep on checking back in the notes section, and there will be more links and updates on how much money we need to raise. All right. We've got more comments here. More money is being sent here. And I see, wait a second, there was Gabriel Shears here. And he is a guy who, tried his best in Chile and is now back. Chile, a country which I very much enjoyed, Santiago, where I met Gabriel Shear in person. He was in charge of the gulch there. What was it? Gulch, or whatever. I forgot what it was even called now. It was a place, and Chile got so authoritarian, he had to move back to Vancouver, to British Columbia. And, Western Canadians, for a while, Western Canadians were doing much better in the Bitcoin space than their Eastern counterparts. I don't know if that's still going on, but of course, Alberta is the best province, and Gabriel's originally from British Columbia, which maybe, what's it, the second best province? I don't know. But Gabriel's got some community that he's trying to set up instead of now in Chile. Canada which is not a free country, is more free than Chile. And he's trying to set up a community up there. But it's always good to see Gabriel, who's been on the show numerous times. Gamified altcoins just to attract more people to Bitcoin in the end. It's all good. I agree. I agree, Gabriel. I agree. Keep doing what you're doing. I hope your child and your woman are doing well. I don't know if you have more than one child now. And I really hope to visit you in Vancouver is a beautiful, I don't know if you're actually in Vancouver or just British Columbia. Vancouver is a beautiful city, and I think it's ridiculous that your horrible prime minister, who might get voted out if the Conservatives, it looks like the Conservatives are doing better in the polling or something. I don't know how it all works over there, but usually Trudeau has been able to pull it off. People should be really rebelling against Trudeau. Is disgusting in his authoritarianism, and it's just so great in the United States because Biden would do exactly what Trudeau's doing. But we have checks and balances here, the federalist system, etc. It's awesome. Canada doesn't have the same system. They've limited travel, and I wouldn't be allowed in Canada anyway. By the way, guys, just so all of you know, a guy like Yaron Brook who is a freaking believes in free markets, believes in Ayn Rand, and is spreads freedom. He says he got the shot mostly so he could travel. He has tried to travel, and it's been such a pain in the tuchlis for him. He says, you don't even know how many tests I've had to get, how many of those the virus test. You guys know, last 19 months, I haven't taken any of those up your nose tests. The only test I ever got was a blood test to see if I've had it before. I am not getting that thing shoved up my nose. I'm not complying to that. So you're on Brooks says, why is everybody complying? Well, he in a sense is complying when you are, take test after test and pay hundreds of dollars for these tests up your nose so you can get into this country and that country and play this little game, to get into England, to get into Israel, to get into this, to get back into Puerto Rico. I've done none of that. And I've had the time of my life meeting real people in the United States of America, hugging people in Miami, seeing my friends in Salt Lake City. And I'm going to go to Salt Lake City starting the 20th. I'll be there a month. Then I'll be in Dallas for a month. I haven't been in Texas during this whole situation yet, but I hear it's okay. But okay, yeah, Gabriel, so my point is I don't know how you tolerate Canada. I could not tolerate Canada. And I will not tolerate Canada. And I will not enter Canada. And God willing, Trudeau is gone soon. But I don't have confidence. There are many screaming Karens that are male and female in Canada that just want a pretty man to take care of them, I guess. And yet, Justin is a pretty man. He's kept himself up very well. Great. What's that matter? You pay attention to the content, not what the person looks like. Content. No, Adam. Anthony Monero sent another €10, and dude, I bet we're over $100. So thank you. No, Adam. Every ERC20 will have its clone included. Yes. I understand. It's a really big project that Richard is undertaking. If you own an ERC20 on Ethereum, you're going to own it on Pulse also. Okay. It's a really big gimmick. It's a really big thing. I don't even know if he's going to be able to pull it off. But the longer he delays it, by the way, the more people who will buy, staked hex. It's a big game. It is what it is. He's going to end up with something, and then he'll come up with something new. There's always something new. There'll be something new in 2022, something new in 2023. Keep on extending it. You see, a lot of these altcoin creators, they're one-trick ponies. That's it. They come up with a gimmick. It's a privacy coin. Then they can't come up with another thing. So Richard keeps on coming up with another, and they're all interconnected. Okay? This is what altcoins are about. You got to keep on coming up with gimmicks. So you sent another €20, Anthony Monero. I'm going to read what you say, man, which means you will have an extra wrapped Bitcoin on Ethereum and Pulse Chain. I really think you and your friends, your OG friends, should have a look at them. 2 Bitcoin for 1 until you spend it. I'll let you imagine. No, you're going to end up with something called a wrapped Bitcoin on Pulse Chain. You're going to end up with something called a wrapped Bitcoin on Pulse Chain. It is not an IOU for a Bitcoin. Okay? That is not an IOU for a Bitcoin. The wrapped Bitcoin on Ethereum is a trusted IOU, a third-party trusted IOU for a Bitcoin. Okay? So there is risk. When you get a wrapped Bitcoin on Ethereum, you're trusting that there is a Bitcoin locked away somewhere. All right? So now you're getting, they're cloning the Ethereum chain onto another chain. That doesn't mean the original IOU for the Bitcoin is not doubled. There's not the underlying asset is not doubled. The underlying Bitcoin asset is not doubled. So now you just have something that is called a wrapped Bitcoin on Pulse Chain. There is no underlying Bitcoin to that thing. The underlying Bitcoin you still you're still trusting is represented by the Ethereum wrapped Bitcoin. So to get a wrapped Bitcoin on a clone chain called Pulse, there is no underlying value in that. There is no underlying asset. So it should be worth 0. Now, some people are going to think that's worth something. That's their prerogative right there. That's totally if you think a wrapped Bitcoin on Pulse Chain is worth something, that's just a wrapped Bitcoin that is just a copy of the original one on Ethereum, that's your prerogative, dude. but it's not. It shouldn't be. Okay. So I hope you understand I hope everyone understood what I just said there. For those of you who think that and I think it's foolish to have a wrapped Bitcoin on Ethereum. If you think you're going to get another Bitcoin on Pulse Chain because of that, you're not. There is no reason a human being should pay you $45,000 worth of anything for a cloned wrapped Bitcoin on Pulse Chain. No reason I can see at all. So, Anthony, I read what you wrote, and I clearly disagree with the wrap, saying it's a positive, I don't want to mislead anyone on what they're getting there. Pulse is going to be insane, this guy says. So S4MGRN says, glad to see the BitcoinMeister is letting his followers in on what's coming. No, I mean, I just explained to you what's coming with on the wrap Bitcoin aspect of it, and that it's just a gimmick. It's a gimmick to help pump up Hex and to pump up everything that Richard's associated with. Okay, Anthony says, in fact, I don't care if they are wrapped or not. All I know is that my wrapped Bitcoin has value of this Bitcoin of this Bitcoin, but not only one chain, but both, because they are forks. Dude, if you have a wrapped Bitcoin on Ethereum, and then you're holding it when the Pulse Chain fork comes, and you end up with a wrapped Bitcoin on Pulse Chain, that wrapped Bitcoin, I cannot guarantee you what it will be valued at. It could very well be zero. You don't have a promise that thing is going to be worth anything, because all a wrapped Bitcoin is an IOU. It is promising you an underlying asset. You will be promised nothing. There is no underlying asset of a wrapped Bitcoin on Pulse Chain. None. All right. Now, moving on. When I was in the lift the other day, I had to be in the lift. This just shows you how passive aggressive people can be during this what's been going on. I was in the lift, and I wasn't wearing a mask, of course. Then the driver was wearing a mask. She was conversing with me. She didn't say anything to me. I get back. I check the computer. I see I've been reported to Lyft for not wearing a mask. I've got like 2 messages from Lyft that I didn't wear a mask. I mean, what snitches we have. The woman could have asked me, I'm in her car. If she's going to ask me to wear a mask, I will, that's her property. I will respect her property rights. I respect people's property rights. But she was passive aggressive about the whole thing. I guess she wanted to get a good review or something, and then, attack me when I was gone. So, I mean, this is the sick snitch world that we live in. So, yeah, I wasn't, of course, I'm not wearing a mask in it. If they're not going to ask me to wear a mask, I'm not going to wear a mask. I don't wear a mask anywhere if they don't ask me to wear a mask. I'm not some compliant little, whatever that's going to I'm not defaulting to wear a mask. But she defaults to be a snitch. I will say that I've been in other lifts and I don't wear a mask. They haven't said a word to me. One guy, he tries to it was so sad. I said something like, I'm not wearing a mask. He's like, I'm vaccinated. Look at my card. He was an immigrant. That was so sad. All right. Now, he wanted to show me his papers. All right. Okay, we talked about the fake sophistication. Risk is a part of living. People have forgotten that. And there's just some people who can't take any risk anymore. And it is quite a contrast seeing this fear virus world and comparing it to my Bitcoin world. This, where so many people are taking risks with their money. Well, it was I don't think Bitcoin's a risk, but where they're in motion and they're just like living their lives. And I think a lot of you are just probably saying, Adam, you haven't realized how just locked down and just paranoid people are. I have, but there's just a certain, being in Baltimore and just having it in your face a little bit more than I usually have. I guess Nashville had been really fun and just, I hadn't seen anything like this for a while. So that's why it's kind of hitting me hard. And why I'm talking about it. All right. So let me erase that. We talked about that. And we talked about how, I don't know how some of these kids are going to end up being grown, what they're going to be like when they're grown-ups. Okie dokie. We talked about tradition killers. Okay, here, this is my thing. Many times on my show, I've talked about the tech Bitcoin golden age we are entering and the opportunities it presents for in-motion people. Look at this fun job at Get Zion. No tech skills needed, no excuses. You get to work with JP. Okay, so that was my tweet. I didn't read that. Cardano is a flavor of the month. I will say this. If that goes above the $100 billion market cap Hoffman line, that's a pretty big sign we're in an altcoin bubble at that point. But we haven't gotten there yet. But yeah, I'm hearing people talk about Cardano. Dude, I've been through this stuff so many times. Don't get too excited. But yeah, we're going to get, once you get to a point, well, I've explained this on another show. During this cycle, when you get 3 coins over $100 billion market cap, Bitcoin and Ethereum deserve it. Cardano at this point or Binance, they don't. So that means you're pretty bubbly when you get there. Okay. Here's a spam email I'm getting. Be very careful. Your wallet has won 5 Ethereum tokens. Don't click on that. It's fake. I would never click on it, but I can see how it triggers people. It's from quote unquote Coinbase. It's a fake Coinbase. I read the book Naked Sun by Isaac Asimov. I actually found it a year ago when I was in Salt Lake City, or less than a year ago, at one of those free book things. You're running along the street and people create these little free book libraries. So I took it because I wanted a sci-fi book, and because I love space, I love that stuff, and I never read it. I've heard good things about Isaac Asimov from Isaac Arthur, who's got a great channel here on YouTube. And so I randomly got The Naked Sun. And I really recommend it because he wrote the book in like 1957. And there's something in it that's like Skype, that's like Zoom. And some of the main characters are scared of being around other human beings. They live their entire lives viewing people instead of actually seeing people in person. And I mean, I won't give too much away, but it just shows how sick he saw back then in 1957, how people could fear being around other people's germs, could fear how horrible it is to, there's a beautiful convenience behind Zoom. I love the technology of Zoom. But when that becomes 100, and in this book, it literally is 100% of people's interactions on this planet. It's insane. And heck, it could happen for some people now in the real world. So it was like it was meant to be. Besheret, they say in Yiddish, right? Or Hebrew. The Naked Sun. It was meant to be that I found that book a year ago, and it really pertains to so read it, people. Read books. It's fun. I love reading books. I hadn't had time to read a book lately, and I really plowed through it right before I left Nashville, and I got it done. And it deals with real life today. He was a smart dude. And yeah, so I enjoyed the book. I mean, there's some corny parts to it and everything. You could tell it was written a long time. It was some of it. He did a good job of predicting some technology, and some isn't exactly perfect, but he was a smart guy. Let me see. Oh, here's a good one. When I was at the barbershop, of course, not wearing a mask, and few were at my bar. And I've gone to this barbershop since I was right before I was 13 years old, so for quite some time. I love this barber. He does a great job with my hair too. But I heard some 80%ers there. There's this one guy, he's talking about how he doesn't like gambling, but he had $200 extra. So he spent it on going to the casino, Maryland Live, and gambling on golf. I mean, spending it at Maryland Live, you're such a CUCK. I mean, you're funding the freaking government because the casinos in Maryland, they've got the only reason they can be casinos is they got revenue sharing with the government. It's disgusting, and it's amazing. People, a guy, he doesn't like gambling very much, but he gambled on golf. He gambled and these people complain about being poor and having no money and trying to blame cryptocurrency people for crime. You spend your $200 on crypto on Bitcoin, dude. So yeah, beforehand I talked about that fear is a religion now, that the virus cult is a religion, and it looks like what's disgusted me is that I think people don't like going to hospitals. I think we can say that. There's a certain type of hypochondriac that likes going to hospitals. I guess. But people do, part of the reason they take precautions with this virus, they don't want to end up in the hospital. People don't want to get all sorts of diseases. No one likes to end up in the hospital, really. You go there to die. But it's become, fear of the illness has become such a religion that people have turned their whole lives into hospitals. Their houses are hospitals. They look like they're living in a freaking hospital. They've got a mask on all the time. And there's a certain irony to that. And another thing that's sickening, you're protecting yourself from people who are not sick at this point. I'm not sick, but you're scared of me. Everyone is a suspect in their heads. All right? And that's not a good way to live, where you're paranoid about every person you see on the street, that you have to wear a mask, but even though you're vaccinated, you're scared of getting something from them. You have turned your life into a hospital, and you are also scared. Everyone is a criminal to you now. And that's how people end up begging for the government for mandates. Okay, we talked about eCash. That was funny. E.cash, for those of you who want to see what Bcash ABC became, the crypto dividend of Bcash. Richard Feynman said, this is a great quote, "Science is the belief in the ignorance of experts." Remember that, people. Science is the belief in the ignorance of experts. It's not the freaking blind worship of Anthony Fauci, like Anthony Fauci wants it to be. Believe the experts, believe the science. No, science is the belief in the ignorance of experts. Keep on questioning. All right, let me go back to, speaking of questions, we're going to end the show real soon because I think there were some more things that I'm ignoring here. Not on purposely ignoring. What means you have an extra wrap? Okay, I think I've explained the ERC20. Okay, my wrap Bitcoin. Yeah. All right. No, there were no more. There were no other questions. VR is stupid. Just get out of your house and experience life in person. Yeah, well, second point is very true. Get out of your house and experience life in person. VR can be a lot of fun, though. Don't get addicted to VR, though. Okay, that's the point. Don't make VR your life. It's virtual reality. It's just virtual. People have forgotten there's a real reality out there. Go out and smell the roses, Lance. And I know you are, Lance. And maybe I'll see you in Utah, Lance. Looking forward to being in beautiful, breathable Utah. There is a real world, Marty Zal says. Yeah, there is a real world still. I know you know there is. But unfortunately, there's a lot of people that, I mean, really, there is a segment of the population that don't get that people like me exist. That people are really traveling. People are getting on planes. People are just hugging and just, you don't wear a mask. How do you stay safe, Adam? Someone asked me that the last time I was in Baltimore. How did you stay safe during all that traveling? What's staying safe? I go back to what I said. Risk is part of life. There's always going to be risk in life. All right, dudes. VR is based. You should try it before you knock it. Well, I'm not knocking it. I am not knocking VR. Definitely not knocking VR. The guys at the Tel Aviv Bitcoin Embassy, they loved to play around with it when I was there, including Udi. I didn't put it on. Well, I don't know why. I didn't try it on. They were monopolizing it. I think you can get kind of nauseous too. I'm willing to try the VR though. Just the what they had there, these glasses you put on. That was the virtual reality. There's all sorts of different types of virtual reality, and many really loved that. Many was in charge over there at that time, and he really loved technology and bringing that type of stuff to the Bitcoin embassy in Tel Aviv. And I just think it's sickening in Israel what they're going to mandate a fourth vaccine soon or something like that. It's unbelievable. I love Israel. I mean, I'm glad I didn't get stuck in Israel, man. Very authoritarian there. Very authoritarian. They should be ashamed. Every country, not just Israel, Australia, New Zealand, all of them should be ashamed of going down this route. And all three of those countries I had a blast in before all this nonsense. And that's why you got to live your lives, people. You never know when something's going to change big time. So a lot of people said, Adam, why do you travel around the whole world, dude? Blah, 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 blah. No, I'm glad I did it. No regrets. Now I get to travel around the whole United States. And it's so sick that Leanna Wang, we'll talk about her more. She wants to have, what an authoritarian, disgusting woman she is. She was the Baltimore health commissioner at one point. What a great job she did. You know, she uses that as a success. People, if you're involved in Baltimore government at one point and you use that as a success, you know there's something wrong with you. And because there's no success in Baltimore government. But Leanna Wang, I'll leave you with this. She wants to have restrictions on interstate travel, which of course is totally unconstitutional, which translates to pure authoritarianism. Just throw it all out the window. That's what Biden wants to do that too. We're going to say private businesses over 100 people are going to. It's totally unconstitutional. Private businesses over 100 people, you are now subject to our whims in the government. Okay, we're making up new rules for you, not approved by Congress or the Constitution or anything like that. We're just pulling it out of our backsides. So Leanna Wang thinks it's very good that Biden didn't go far enough. No. Interstate travel should be restricted. If you don't get one of these, you should be stuck in Maryland. Leanna doesn't want me to leave freaking Maryland. Ain't happening. And so one of the cool things about being an American today, the day after Biden announces his ludicrous things, is the blowback that so many Americans are like, no, we're not doing this. We're not listening. So many states have said, no, we're not doing it. Texas, Florida, there's a whole map of states. So it's not happening. It's what I predicted. I'm not predicting secession. I'm just predicting like, no. If this actually ever became law, and by the way, what Joe Biden proposed yesterday, it will be struck down by the Supreme Court. It will never be implemented. He does not have, but if somehow it were to make it through all the hurdles, then it will never make it through. At the state level, they just will not enforce it. They've already put their foot down. And just so many Americans have said, no, we're not complying. We're being defiant. And I'm proud to be an American today. I'm not into the collectivist thing at all, but I'm just comparing it to other countries where so many of them have just bent over and taken much, much, much worse than what he proposed yesterday, okay? What he proposed was bad, very bad. What they've implemented in Canada is worse. What they've implemented in Israel, in Australia, in New Zealand is far worse. In Australia, they have camps for people that aren't that. I mean, it's terrible. For camps, for quarantines. So, Americans, my fellow Americans, keep on doing what you're doing. Keep on pounding that like button. We'll have another show soon because we clearly raised over $100. So thank you, Anthony, and everybody who contributed to the show. I didn't make it through all my topics. I have hours and hours and hours of more topics, but I got to go right now. Pound that like button. Thanks a lot, everybody. Spread the word, retweet it. See you later. Shabbat Shalom.